the hidden force behind every success and every failure. Most people think their big break is just one opportunity away, one lucky moment, one right connection. But what if I told you that the real reason people win or lose has nothing to do with luck, talent, or timing? It's what you do every single day when no one is watching. Success is never a single event. It's not that viral post, that big promotion, or that one investment. It's the result of thousands of tiny, almost invisible decisions compounded over time. Eat one donut today, nothing happens. Eat one every day for 6 months, your energy tanks, your focus slips, your clothes get tight, and you don't even notice until it's too late. But do one push-up today? Still nothing. One healthy meal? Nothing noticeable? Save $5 instead of spending it? Feels like a drop in the ocean. But do these small things consistently, and you begin a silent revolution. A momentum builds that becomes unstoppable. Fucky. Problem? Most people quit before the miracle. They chase intensity, not consistency. They want massive results fast, and when they don't see them, they abandon the system that actually works. The only system that ever works. Small, smart choices. Repeated daily over time, this book is about that system, not hype. Not hacks, not hustle until burnout, but a blueprint that has created empires, transformed lives, and quietly built fortunes behind the scenes, while the world chased shiny distractions. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but getting nowhere, this book is for you. If you've ever wondered why people with less talent, fewer resources, or lower IQs seem to be racing ahead while you feel stuck, this book is for you. And if you're ready to stop riding emotional roller coasters and start building unshakable success brick by brick, this book will be your turning point. Because from this moment on, your future is no longer determined by luck, genetics, or even circumstances. It's determined by what you do next. Chapter 1. The Invisible Power. Steering your life. Every day you're planting seeds. Some are seeds of growth, new habits, wise decisions, small acts of discipline. Others are seeds of destruction, cut corners, impulse buys, skipped workouts, and silent procrastination. The challenge? You don't see the harvest right away. And because of that, most people don't realize what they're actually growing until it's too late. The compound effect is always working, whether for you or against you. It never sleeps, it never stops, and it never forgets. Think of your life like a plane just 1 degree off course. At first, it looks like you're flying straight, but after 100 miles, you're in the wrong city. After 1,000 miles, you're in a different country. That's what small daily decisions do. They take you somewhere. And whether that's a destination of success or regret depends entirely on your awareness and consistency. The problem? Most people are addicted to big wins, big breaks, big changes. They want the dramatic before and after story. But success doesn't come in big bangs. It comes in quiet whispers, stacked over time. The world doesn't reward effort. It rewards results. But those results are born from invisible work, done when no one is clapping, watching, or noticing. Take 2 people. Person A eats 100 extra calories per day. That's 1 cookie. Person B skips that cookie and walks 20 minutes after dinner. After 1 month? No change. After 6 months? Still subtle. But after 2 years, one has gained 20 plus pounds. The other is leaner, sharper, more energized. No lottery, no 6-pack challenge. Just a small decision, repeated. This is the trap of the average mind. If I don't see instant results, it must not be working. But the compound effect doesn't care what you believe. It just delivers. Quietly, brutally, and always with interest. Your current income, health, mindset, energy, and relationships are all trailing. Indicators of the compound effect of your past decisions. You can't fake this. You can't fast forward it. You can only decide which direction it's taking you, right now, and that is your first wake-up call. You are not a product of your environment. You are a product of your patterns. You don't get rich by thinking about abundance. You get rich by acting on tiny financial habits no one sees. You don't get fit by signing up for a gym. You get fit by showing up when you don't feel like it, again and again. You don't build an empire by waiting for the right idea. You build it by doing boring, unsexy, repeatable work until the world calls you an overnight success. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. The compound effect is the most powerful force in your life, and 99% of people waste it. They eat what feels good, not what serves them. They scroll when they should be building. They talk about goals instead of building systems. They want freedom, but live in reaction mode. Success isn't one decision. It's thousands. Failure isn't one moment. It's hundreds of silent compromises. And here's the good news. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to master the next decision, because small hinges swing big doors. The next time you're tempted to skip the small stuff, remember, it's not small. The $5 you save today compounds into financial peace. The 10 push-ups you do tonight compound into a strong, healthy body. The 15 minutes you spend reading instead of watching TV compound into a sharper, more focused mind. This is the compound effect. It's invisible. It's patient. It's merciless. But it will build you a life of freedom if you respect it. In the next chapter, you'll discover the secret weapon that makes or breaks your progress, your daily habits, and how to redesign them for unstoppable momentum. Chapter 2. Habits, the hidden engine driving your destiny. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Most people think they're in control of their lives. They believe their big dreams, intentions, and plans are what shape their destiny. But it's not what you intend to do that determines your future. It's what you actually do, repeatedly, when no one's watching. Your habits are the silent architects of your life. They don't shout. They don't beg for attention, but they quietly shape every outcome you experience. And the most dangerous thing about habits? They don't care if they're good or bad. They will compound either way. If you have a habit of reaching for your phone the moment you wake up, you're wiring your brain for distraction. If you skip your morning routine just this once, you're teaching yourself that comfort wins over discipline. If you tell yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," you're programming your identity with self-deception. But if you flip the script, just slightly, you unleash power most people will never touch. Here's the truth. You are one habit away from a new identity. Want to become a writer? Write 100 words a day. Doesn't matter if they're good. Want to become wealthy? Track your spending daily, even if it's $2. Want to become fit? Do 15 push-ups every morning. Build from there. Small, boring, unsexy actions. That's where power lives. And here's the twist. The smaller the action, the more sustainable the habit. Everyone wants to overhaul their life overnight. That's why diets fail. Gym memberships get dusty, journals gather cobwebs, massive change. Feels exciting, for a moment. But it collapses under its own weight. Real transformation doesn't feel like fireworks. It feels like brushing your teeth. Normal, automatic, routine. The world's top performers don't have superpowers, they have systems. Routines. Micro-disciplines executed with relentless consistency. The difference between a broke dreamer and a successful creator isn't talent, it's habit, and your habits don't need permission. You don't need to feel motivated, you just need to do the reps. Imagine this. You wake up each morning and immediately knock out 10 minutes of focused action toward your biggest goal. You track your food before your first bite. You review your top 3 priorities before you open your inbox. Do that for 30 days. Then 60, then 90. It's not magic, but it feels like magic, because your results begin to stack in ways that shock everyone around you. Most people will never understand this. They're chasing hacks and shortcuts. They're addicted to dopamine, drama, and distraction. They look at the scoreboard without respecting the training. But if you master your habits, you master your life. Because your habits shape your identity, and your identity drives your actions. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. You don't need massive willpower. You need a reliable system. Success isn't about doing more. It's about doing less, better, and more often. Start with one keystone habit, a daily ritual that creates a ripple effect. Something so simple it's impossible to fail. Then protect that habit like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your destiny isn't shaped by what you hope to do. It's shaped by what you actually do. Every single day. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into the secret most people never realize. How to build momentum so powerful it becomes unstoppable, even if you start small and slow. Chapter 3. Momentum. Your greatest secret weapon. Once a rocket launches, it burns over 80% of its fuel just to escape Earth's gravity. But once it's in orbit, it glides. Fast, effortlessly, consistently. Your life works the same way. Starting is hard. Sticking to it is harder. But once momentum kicks in, everything shifts. You stop pushing, you start gliding. Momentum is the invisible force separating the average from the extraordinary. It's not flashy. It's not loud. But once it arrives, success accelerates faster than anyone expects, and it looks like magic from the outside. But here's the brutal truth. Most people never get there. They give up before the gravity breaks. They quit on day 4, week 2, month 3. They stop just before momentum was about to take over. You've probably been there. You start working out. It feels painful, awkward, slow. You try budgeting. It feels tedious, annoying, restrictive. You begin a morning routine. It feels pointless, frustrating, hard to sustain. Why? Because the compound effect hasn't kicked in yet. You're still burning fuel. You haven't reached orbit, but if you just keep going, through the friction, the boredom, the resistance, momentum begins to build. And once it does, your actions no longer feel like effort. They become your new default. You become the person who wants to wake up early. You crave discipline. You feel weird skipping a workout, a budget check-in, or your deep work session. It's no longer willpower. It's identity. Momentum works in both directions. If you hit snooze 3 days in a row, you've built momentum for laziness. If you indulge in junk food all weekend, you've built momentum for self-sabotage. If you procrastinate today, you're not just wasting time, you're rewiring yourself to hesitate tomorrow. Tiny choices stack. They either propel you or poison you. There's no neutral. Momentum is built through consistency, not intensity. The gym goer who trains 20 minutes daily will destroy the one who shows up for 2-hour marathons once a month. The entrepreneur who sends one sales email a day outpaces the one who launches big, but disappears for weeks. The investor who automates weekly deposits into an index fund beats the one who waits for the perfect time to buy. Momentum rewards the boring, the disciplined, the persistent. It's slow until it's fast. Invisible until it's undeniable. Silent until it becomes a roar, and once it arrives, you become unstoppable. Not because you're doing more, but because you've become more. You are no longer trying to succeed. You are simply acting out the inevitable. Here's what to remember. Don't aim to feel motivated. Aim to create momentum. Don't wait for passion. Build progress. Passion follows. Don't trust your emotions. Trust your systems. Every day you show up, you tilt the odds in your favor. Every rep, every page, every call, every dollar, it compounds. The key is to keep showing up long enough to let momentum do its job, because the moment it kicks in, everything changes. The struggle fades. The resistance dies. The results multiply, and people will look at you and say, "Wow, you're lucky." They'll never see the fuel you burn to get there. In the next chapter, we'll talk about the hidden saboteurs that derail most people's momentum and how to eliminate them before they ruin everything you've built. Stop right there. This isn't just a video. This is a turning point. You're not here by accident. You were meant to see this. If your heart's beating faster, if something inside you just woke up, do not ignore that feeling. Like this video, not for us, but for you, to lock in this energy. Share it, because someone out there is lost and you might be the reason they wake up. Subscribe right now, because we're not done. This channel is about to blow your mind. Again and again and again. This is more than content. This is a revolution. A mindset. A mission. And if you felt this even for a second, then you're part of it now. So don't just watch. Join the movement. Like, share, subscribe, or scroll back to the same life you're trying to escape. Your call. Chapter 4. The Invisible Enemies. Habits that destroy momentum. Most people don't fail because they made one massive mistake. They fail because they let tiny, invisible habits eat away at their momentum until it's gone. Like termites in a foundation, these behaviors look harmless at first, but give them time, and they'll collapse everything you're trying to build. The danger? These habits are comfortable, convenient, and popular, but they are deadly. Let's expose them, one by one. The snooze button. Lie. You think hitting snooze is just 5 more minutes, but it's a signal to your brain. I'm not in control. I don't do what I said I would. You've already lost momentum before your day even started. Every time you snooze, you reinforce hesitation. Every time you wake up early, even when it's hard, you reinforce strength. Tiny choice. Massive consequence. The just this once. Excuse. I'll skip the gym today. Just this once. I'll splurge a little. Just this once. I'll miss my journaling. Just this once. But just this once never stays once. It becomes a pattern, then a habit, then an identity. Momentum dies in the phrase, just this once. You're not choosing comfort. You're choosing decay. Every compromise is a vote for who you'll become. Yours. The consumption trap, podcasts, reels, blogs, YouTube, books. Everyone is learning. No one is doing. You don't need another 10-step plan. You need to execute step 1. Now, consumption without action creates a false sense of progress. It feels productive. It's not. It's procrastination in disguise. Remember, the world doesn't reward what you know. It rewards what you do. Toxic environments that normalize mediocrity. Your environment is always shaping you. If your friends gossip, waste time, and settle, you will too. Why? Because humans crave belonging more than they crave growth. It takes extraordinary effort to change when you're surrounded by average, and it becomes effortless when you're surrounded by excellence. Audit your environment. Ruthlessly, your future depends on it. Decision. Fatigue. Every time you debate whether to do something you already decided to do, you drain momentum. Should I go to the gym today? Should I work on my side hustle tonight? Should I meal prep or just order in? These micro decisions kill your drive. Solution? Automate them. Morning routine, same time, same actions. Workout, same days, same duration. Meals, prepped or planned ahead. Don't negotiate with weakness. Systemize for strength. Momentum thrives in clarity, discipline, and simplicity, but it dies in clutter, compromise, and comfort. Here's what you must remember. Tiny habits, done consistently, either build you or break you. There's no neutral. Every choice is a vote for the person you're becoming. You're not failing because you lack potential. You're failing because you're tolerating distractions. To win long-term, you must destroy what's silently defeating you. In the next chapter, you'll discover the unsexy, overlooked habits that fuel the most successful people in the world, and how to build them into your life automatically. Chapter 5. The Hidden Power of Daily Discipline. Success doesn't come from inspiration. It comes from consistency, especially when motivation disappears. The world celebrates the big wins, the viral launch, the 100K month, the overnight transformation. But what it doesn't show you is what actually built it. The boring, relentless, invisible discipline that happened every single day behind the scenes. Discipline is the lever that turns small actions into massive breakthroughs. Without it, the compound effect can't work. But with it, the results feel inevitable. Let's unpack why. Discipline is the foundation of all momentum. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. Most people wait to feel ready. That's why they never start, or stop the moment things get hard. But disciplined people operate on a different principle. They act regardless of how they feel. They don't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" They say, This is who I am. This is what I do. They don't negotiate. They execute. Every repetition strengthens your identity. Every time you show up, even when it's hard, you're voting for the kind of person you want to become. Want to be someone who's fit? Each workout is a vote. Want to be wealthy? Each time you save or invest, even $10 is a vote. Want to be focused? Each hour without distractions is a vote. Discipline isn't just about results, it's about identity transformation. You don't get what you want. You get what you repeat. Discipline is not restriction. It's liberation. Most people think discipline is about giving things up. In reality, it's about choosing your freedom. When you're disciplined with your money, you buy your future. When you're disciplined with your health, you extend your vitality. When you're disciplined with your time, you multiply your impact. Discipline shrinks the unimportant so you can expand the essential. It doesn't take away your life. It gives it focus. The most successful people don't rely on willpower. They engineer their environment for discipline. They eliminate temptations so they don't need to fight them. They design routines so they don't need to decide. They measure progress so they can't lie to themselves. Discipline becomes automatic because they remove friction. You don't need more grit. You need fewer distractions and more structure. How to build unshakable daily discipline. You don't need to overhaul your life. You need to master the first 5 minutes. Start with wake-up time. Set a non-negotiable alarm. No snooze. Daily non-negotiables. Choose 3 small actions, e.g., drink water, read 10 pages, journal 5 minutes. Track it. Use a visible calendar or app. Don't break the chain. Plan ahead. Decide the night before what matters tomorrow. Reward yourself. Not with junk. Reward with momentum. Let the win feel good. Consistency. Intensity. The goal isn't to do it all at once. It's to never stop doing the right things. Here's the truth. The world doesn't belong to the talented. It belongs to the disciplined. The ones who show up every day. The ones who build power quietly. The ones who play the long game when everyone else quits. Your habits shape your future, but your discipline shapes your habits. In the next chapter, we'll expose the silent killer of progress, emotional triggers that sabotage your consistency, and how to conquer them before they derail everything you've built. Chapter 6. Emotional Triggers. How to stop self-sabotaging. Discipline doesn't fail you. Your emotions do. You set goals. You make progress. But then, out of nowhere, you binge, procrastinate, quit. Not because you're lazy, because you got triggered. If you don't understand how emotions hijack your behavior, you'll keep repeating the same cycle: excitement, action, stress, sabotage, shame, restart. The truth is this: every consistent failure in your life can be traced to an emotional trigger you haven't mastered yet. Let's break that cycle for good. Triggers are emotional landmines. A trigger is anything that hijacks your state and pushes you toward unconscious reaction. It could be an offhand comment from a coworker, a notification that distracts you, a stressful meeting, an argument with your partner. Memory, smell, or thought tied to failure. Your brain doesn't distinguish between real danger and emotional discomfort. It just reacts. Fast. And that reaction usually leads to the easy way out: comfort food, numbing habits, or avoiding action. The compound effect dies the moment a trigger wins. Awareness turns triggers into tools. The moment you see the trigger, you take away its power. Here's the truth: you can't manage what you don't recognize. That's why the most successful people study themselves relentlessly. They know, the better I know my triggers, the less they control me. Start tracking. What derails your focus most often? What environments, people, or times of day lead to bad choices? When do you consistently make excuses? Your patterns are not mysterious. They're just invisible until you look for them. Emotional reactions can be reprogrammed. Here's what most people don't realize. Your first reaction is automatic. Your second one is a choice. You might feel anger, shame, fear, or anxiety in the moment. That's human. But what happens next is where your power lives. Train yourself to pause between trigger and action. In that tiny gap, ask, what am I actually feeling? What belief is this emotion tied to? What outcome do I want instead? This rewires your brain. It shifts you from reaction to response, from victim to architect. The 3-second rule to break a pattern. Instantly, every time you feel yourself slipping, whether it's about to be a bad choice, a wasted hour, or a sabotaging thought, count down or isa. 2, 1, act, interrupt the emotion. Take control back, get up, move, change your posture. Take one tiny action aligned with your goal. You're teaching your brain, I don't obey emotion, I lead it. Do this enough times and the old triggers lose their power. They stop being landmines and start becoming launch pads. Build an emotional defense system. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your emotional training. That means you need to protect your state like a fortress. Prime your mind every morning. Read something powerful. Visualize your day. Anchor your purpose. Remove chaos. Declutter your space, reduce noise, eliminate toxic influences. Get sleep. Fatigue is jet fuel for emotional collapse. Breathe before you break. When you feel overwhelmed, 4 deep breaths can reset your nervous system. Keep a trigger journal. Every time you're derailed, write down what happened, what you felt, and how you'll respond next time. Your emotional state is not random, it's programmable. Here's the final truth of this chapter. You are not weak, you're just untrained in emotional mastery. Discipline is fragile when emotion is ignored, but when you master your internal world, no external chaos can break you. In the next chapter, we'll uncover how to measure your habits, track momentum, and finally make progress visible, so you can stay consistent even when motivation fades. Chapter 7. Momentum is the master key. Consistency is the secret to success, but momentum is the engine that drives it forward. You can't win the race without building speed, and momentum is what makes that possible. Most people underestimate the power of momentum. They believe success comes from a burst of energy or a lucky breakthrough. But in reality, momentum is the single most important factor in your success. Momentum is like a snowball rolling downhill. At first, it's small, and it takes effort to get started. But once it begins to roll, it picks up speed, and soon enough, it's unstoppable. You don't need massive actions every day. What you need is steady, intentional progress, no matter how small. You need to build momentum that compounds over time. Momentum is the reward for consistent action. Imagine trying to push a giant boulder uphill. The first few pushes feel impossible, right? The boulder doesn't budge. You're exhausted. You wonder if it's worth it. But then something amazing happens. As you keep pushing, the boulder begins to move. At first, it's slow, almost imperceptible, but over time, it gains speed. Eventually, it becomes effortless. That's what momentum looks like in real life. At first, your efforts may feel small. You might question whether they matter, but it's the consistent effort that builds the momentum that will carry you to your goals. The power of small wins. Most people think success is about hitting a huge milestone, but the truth is, it's the small wins that add up to big results. In fact, small wins are a psychological hack that primes you for success. When you achieve even a small victory, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical. This reinforces the behavior and motivates you to keep going. When you string enough small wins together, something incredible happens. The compound effect kicks in. You start building a momentum that powers you forward even when you don't feel like it. Momentum fights resistance. One of the biggest barriers to success is resistance, that internal voice that tells you to quit, to rest, to delay. But momentum neutralizes resistance. Once you gain momentum, resistance becomes less of a threat. You no longer have to force yourself to take action. The momentum pushes you forward without much effort. That's why starting is the hardest part. The moment you begin, the momentum takes over. When you make a habit out of consistency, resistance can't stop you. It loses its power because the momentum becomes stronger than the excuses, distractions, and fears that once held you back. Momentum requires discipline, but it builds itself. It might seem like momentum is all about motivation, but it's about discipline. Discipline is the steady hand that guides you to take action when you don't feel like it. It's about showing up, even when the fire of motivation flickers. But the beauty of momentum is that discipline gets easier once you build it. Each small action reinforces the next one, making it easier to do the next right thing. Momentum acts like a snowball, and the more you build it, the less effort it takes to keep it rolling. Eventually, it will feel like second nature. Momentum doesn't just make you more productive, it makes success inevitable. Measuring progress. How to keep momentum going. To build momentum, you need to see your progress. Here's how to measure it. Track your habits daily. Even the smallest actions matter. Write them down and celebrate them. Review your progress weekly. Look for patterns, small wins, and areas where you can improve. Reflect on your why often. Momentum is easier to sustain when you remember why you started in the first place. Start with small goals, micro goals, that are easy to track and accomplish. Once you accomplish them, you'll feel a sense of achievement, which feeds your momentum. Momentum loves clarity. Be crystal clear on your goals and objectives, and your momentum will push you toward them faster than you could imagine. The role of consistency in building momentum. Consistency is a magnet for momentum. It's like setting a boat adrift on a river. The boat might start out slow, but if you keep it on course, it will gather speed and eventually hit its destination. Think about any area of your life where you've seen success. Whether it's fitness, business, or relationships, consistency created the momentum that moved you toward your goals. Don't focus on the destination. Focus on the next small action and let momentum carry you there. How to keep momentum when things get tough. Momentum doesn't mean you won't face setbacks. You will encounter resistance. You will feel tired, frustrated, and tempted to quit. But the difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is how they respond to these moments. When you hit a rough patch, take a break, but don't stop completely. Rest for a day or two, but always come back to the action. Even small steps forward during tough times build your momentum. And remember, momentum loves consistency, not perfection. It's better to make small, imperfect progress than to wait until everything is perfect. Momentum is your superpower. It's not some magical force. It's a product of consistent, intentional action. By understanding how momentum works, you can tap into its power and start moving faster, with less effort, toward your ultimate goals. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to measure your success using simple tools to make your progress more visible so you can see how far you've come. Chapter 8. The Power of Measurement. Tracking Your Way to Success. There's an old saying that what gets measured gets improved. When it comes to success, tracking your progress isn't just a good idea, it's a necessity. Measuring your efforts doesn't just show you how far you've come, it also shows you exactly where you're going wrong and how to fix it. Imagine you're driving from one city to another. You wouldn't just drive aimlessly, hoping you're on the right path, right? You'd use a map, GPS, or some sort of tracking tool to ensure you're heading in the right direction. The same is true for your success. If you don't have a system to track your actions and results, you're blindly navigating your way to your goals, and that's a surefire way to get lost. In this chapter, we'll explore the critical role of measurement in achieving success and how tracking can dramatically accelerate your progress. Measurement. The truth teller. Think of measurement as the ultimate truth teller. You can feel good about your efforts, but without measuring, you're left with guesswork. You might think you're making progress, but unless you have concrete numbers to back it up, you're just hoping. The power of measurement is that it cuts through the noise. It removes emotion and subjectivity from the equation, so you know exactly where you stand. If you're not tracking, you're flying blind. Setting clear, measurable goals. If you want to see progress, you must first set clear, measurable goals. Here's the thing. Vague goals don't work. Goals like, I want to be successful or I want to get better at my job aren't helpful. Instead, set goals that are specific, measurable, and time-bound. For example, I want to increase my sales by 20% in the next 3 months. Or I want to read 12 books this year are goals you can measure. These types of goals give you a target to hit. And when you measure your progress, you know whether you're on track or need to adjust your efforts. Tracking small, daily wins. While big goals are important, daily wins are what truly move the needle. Every small action you take, every small improvement is part of the compound effect. But it's easy to overlook the daily steps unless you track them. Tracking helps you maintain consistency. It reinforces your commitment to your goals and shows you the incremental progress you're making. Even if it feels small, it's the accumulation of small wins that will ultimately propel you toward the finish line. Measuring your actions, not just your outcomes. When people track their progress, they often focus solely on the outcome, whether they hit their goal. But if you only measure results, you miss the bigger picture. Instead, measure your actions, the habits, behaviors, and steps that drive those outcomes. For example, instead of just tracking your sales figures, track how many cold calls you made, how many new connections you created, and how many meetings you set up. By tracking the process, you ensure that you're consistently doing the right things to achieve your desired outcomes. The importance of metrics. There are a few key metrics that can tell you a lot about your progress. Time invested. How many hours are you putting into the things that matter? Consistency rate. How consistently are you hitting your daily or weekly targets? Key performance indicators, KPIs. These are the specific numbers or actions that directly impact your goals. Mini goals or milestones. Break down big goals into smaller chunks and track your progress on these mini goals. By keeping track of these metrics, you can quickly see what's working and what's not. If you're not hitting your goals, the numbers will tell you why and give you actionable insights for change. Why tracking creates accountability. When you measure your progress, you create accountability. It's easy to lie to yourself about how much you've been doing or how much progress you've made, but numbers don't lie. Tracking forces you to be honest with yourself. If you're not hitting your targets, you can't blame outside circumstances. You must own the process. Accountability becomes even more powerful when you share your goals and progress with others. This external accountability, whether through a mentor, a friend, or a team, gives you an extra layer of motivation to keep pushing forward. Adjusting course. Based on measurement. Here's the key. Measurement doesn't just tell you where you've been, it also tells you where you need to go next. If you're falling behind on a goal, tracking gives you the information you need to adjust your strategy and course correct. For example, let's say you're tracking your sales performance and realize you've only made 5 cold calls this week instead of the 20 you committed to. Instead of waiting until the end of the month to realize you're behind, you catch the problem immediately and can adjust. Being able to adjust quickly keeps you in control. It ensures that you're always moving toward your goal, even if you need to change your approach along the way. The feedback loop of tracking. Tracking creates a feedback loop. When you measure, you get information about what works and what doesn't. This feedback helps you refine your actions and improve your efforts. The feedback loop gets stronger over time. As you see the results of your consistent effort, you become more confident. This confidence creates even more momentum, and before long, your goals seem within reach. Tools for measuring your progress. The good news is that there are a ton of tools available to make measurement easier. From simple spreadsheets to sophisticated apps, you can choose a tool that fits your needs. Some options include task management apps like Todoist or Trello for tracking your actions, goal-setting tools like Goalscape or Smartsheets for setting measurable milestones, habit trackers like Habitica, or Streaks to help track your daily habits. Time tracking tools like Rescue Time to measure how much time you spend on your most important tasks. Find a tool that suits your needs and makes tracking as simple as possible. Tracking and the compound effect. Now, You see how measurement ties directly into the compound effect. By consistently tracking your actions and results, you set yourself up for exponential growth. When you track, you build a foundation of small steps, and over time, those steps compound into massive results. Without tracking, it's easy to fall off track, lose momentum, or waste time. Measurement is the glue that holds your consistency together, ensuring that every action you take is one step closer to your goals. Tracking your progress gives you clarity, motivation, and direction. It's the tool you need to avoid stagnation and keep building momentum toward your success. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to use setbacks and failures as stepping stones to success, and how to bounce back stronger than ever. Stop right there. This isn't just a video. This is a turning point. You're not here by accident. You were meant to see this. If your heart's beating faster, if something inside you just woke up, do not ignore that feeling. Like this video, not for us, but for you, to lock in this energy. Share it, because someone out there is lost and you might be the reason they wake up. Subscribe right now, because we're not done. This channel is about to blow your mind. Again and again and again. This is more than content. This is a revolution. A mindset. A mission. And if you felt this even for a second, then you're part of it now. So don't just watch. Join the movement. Like, share, subscribe, or scroll back to the same life you're trying to escape. Your call. Chapter 9. Turning setbacks into comebacks. There's a saying that goes, failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. Every successful person has faced setbacks. Every great achievement has been forged in the crucible of failure. But here's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. Successful people don't let setbacks define them. They let them fuel their comeback. In this chapter, we'll dive into why setbacks are inevitable and necessary for growth, and how to use them as a springboard to your greatest achievements. The inevitable nature of setbacks. If you're on a journey to success, setbacks are as inevitable as the sunrise. Every goal, every dream, every new venture will come with obstacles, challenges, and moments of failure. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is in their response to these setbacks. Successful. People know that setbacks are not permanent roadblocks. They're simply detours, learning experiences, and opportunities for growth. Rather than running from failure, they embrace it and use it as a stepping stone to build something greater. Reframing failure. From defeat to opportunity. When most people face a setback, their first reaction is to feel defeated. They may feel frustrated, disheartened, or even question their abilities. But what if you reframed setbacks as opportunities rather than obstacles? Setbacks are simply lessons in disguise. They reveal weaknesses, expose flaws, and highlight areas for improvement. Every time you fall, you learn something new that can help you rise higher the next time. Imagine learning to walk. Every time a baby falls, they don't give up. Instead, they get up, try again, and eventually master it. In the same way, setbacks are just the body's way of teaching you what doesn't work, so you can figure out what will. The power of perspective. Your perspective on failure determines whether you bounce back or stay down. If you view failure as a personal attack, as something that defines you as not good enough, it becomes paralyzing. But if you view failure as an event, something that's temporary and isolated, it becomes empowering. The most successful people in the world have a unique ability to separate themselves from their setbacks. They don't identify as their failure. They identify as someone who learns from their failure and keeps going. Here's a powerful question to ask yourself the next time you face a setback. What can I learn from this? How can I use this failure to improve and move forward? The answer will help you transform your perspective and use setbacks to your advantage. Building resilience, the key to bouncing back. Resilience is not something you're born with. It's a skill that can be developed over time. And the best way to build resilience is through consistent practice and exposure to challenges. Every time you face a setback and choose to move forward, you build resilience. Over time, setbacks become less intimidating, and you develop the confidence to overcome even bigger challenges. The more resilient you are, the quicker you can recover from failure and keep pursuing your goals. And the faster you recover, the more momentum you build, which leads to even greater success. Learning from failure. The secret to growth. The true value of setbacks is found in what you learn from them. When you fail, it's not the end. It's the beginning of a new opportunity to improve, innovate, and approach things differently. Let's say you launch a new product and it doesn't sell as well as you hoped. Instead of seeing it as a failure, look at it as an experiment that didn't work out as planned. Ask yourself, what did I learn about the market? What did I learn about my audience? What could I do differently next time? By learning from each setback, you get closer to finding the solution. This growth mindset is what sets high achievers apart from the rest. The power of persistence. When setbacks occur, most people are quick to give up. They hit a wall, get discouraged, and decide it's too hard. But persistent people don't stop. They push through the pain and use setbacks as a reason to keep going. Persistence is the secret sauce that allows people to eventually achieve their goals. It's not about having a perfect strategy, it's about sticking to it long enough to figure it out. When Thomas Edison was asked about his thousands of failed attempts at creating the light bulb, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Every failure was simply another piece of information that helped him get closer to success. Celebrating small wins. One of the most powerful ways to build momentum after a setback is by celebrating small wins. After a major failure or setback, it's easy to lose motivation, but breaking your goals down into smaller, achievable steps can help you stay focused. Small wins build confidence and keep you moving forward, even when things don't seem to be going your way. The more you celebrate those small victories, the more you rewire your brain to expect success, which increases your chances of bouncing back stronger. Taking action, the ultimate key to comebacks. You can reframe setbacks, learn from them, and build resilience, but none of that matters if you don't take action. Action is the key to turning setbacks into comebacks. Taking action helps you rebuild momentum and shows you that you're still in control of your journey. Even small steps forward can create a snowball effect that propels you toward success. If you failed at something, don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself. Take one small step in the right direction, no matter how insignificant it may seem. Creating a comeback plan. To ensure that you can bounce back after any setback, it's important to have a comeback plan in place. Here's a simple framework for building your plan. Acknowledge the setback. Don't hide from it. Accept that it happened. Learn from it. What can you do better next time? What did you miss? Set a new goal. Adjust your goal or timeline based on what you've learned. Take action. Begin taking small, actionable steps toward your new goal. Celebrate progress. Every little win counts. Celebrate them and build momentum. Having a plan helps. You stay focused during tough times and ensures that you don't get stuck in a cycle of doubt and discouragement. 10. The power of perspective. Every setback is temporary. Finally, remember that every setback is temporary. In the grand scheme of your journey to success, it's just a small bump in the road. It's a chance for you to reassess, learn, and grow. When you embrace setbacks as part of the process, you'll never be defeated by them. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how to use your new sense of resilience and momentum to take massive, bold actions toward your dreams. Chapter 10. Bold Action, Turning Momentum into Major Leaps. Momentum is a powerful force. It can build up quietly and steadily, almost imperceptibly. And when it does, it becomes one of the most formidable tools in your arsenal. But the real power of momentum isn't just in building it. It's in channeling it into bold, decisive action that leads to massive leaps forward in your life and business. In this chapter, we will explore how to turn the momentum you've built from setbacks and small wins into bold, game-changing action that propels you toward your goals at an accelerated pace. The power of momentum, why it's the key to your success. When you're moving at full speed, it's much harder to stop. That's the essence of momentum. Once you get rolling, it carries you forward. But it only works if you act on it. This is where most people fall short. They get a taste of momentum, a small win, a good month, a burst of productivity, but they don't know how to turn it into anything bigger. Instead, they slow down, lose focus, or get distracted by the next shiny object. As a result, momentum dies and they're left starting from scratch. Here's the secret. Momentum doesn't just carry you, it propels you forward faster and faster. It creates compounding returns where small actions snowball into larger achievements, if you want. To turn momentum into a major leap, you have to strike while the iron is hot. Take that energy and use it to propel yourself into bold, forward-moving actions that will lead to exponential growth. Bold action. The catalyst for exponential growth. When you have momentum, bold action becomes the catalyst for exponential growth. This isn't the time for small, timid steps. This is the time to leap. Bold actions are those that are big, impactful, and stretch you beyond your comfort zone. They involve taking risks, making big decisions, and doing things that most people wouldn't even consider. Bold action creates momentum, and when you take it, the universe rewards you with more opportunities, resources, and people who are aligned with your goals. If you want to break through to the next level, you must act boldly. Let me give you a few examples of bold actions. Launching your first product when you're scared it might fail. Approaching a mentor or someone you admire, even though you're terrified of rejection. Investing in a new venture, when everyone else is telling you to play it safe. Each of these is a bold action that accelerates your momentum and forces you to commit to your goals. Bold action gives you the confidence to go bigger, faster, and farther than you ever thought possible. Overcoming the fear of bold action. If taking bold action was easy, everyone would do it, but it's not. Fear is the #1 reason people don't take bold action. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of losing money, or the fear of being wrong can paralyze anyone, no matter how much momentum they have. But here's the truth. Fear is inevitable. It's a natural part of the process. The key is to embrace it rather than letting it control you. The most successful people in the world don't avoid fear. They learn to act despite it. They know that every bold move they make will come with fear, but they choose to move forward anyway. Think of fear as a compass. It's telling you that you're about to do something new, something that stretches you, something that matters. The more you act in the face of fear, the more it diminishes, and the more confidence you build. To take bold action, you must learn to embrace fear, accept it, and move through it. Remember, bold action isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to act in spite of it. Putting momentum to work. How to leverage it. Momentum is powerful, but to turn it into major leaps, you must know how to leverage it effectively. Here are a few key strategies for using momentum to your advantage. Capitalize on your current energy. If you've had a good week or month, now is the time to make the biggest decisions. Don't wait for the perfect moment or let it slip away. Momentum is fleeting. Grab it when it's there. Maximize your resources. When momentum is on your side, you're more likely to get support from others, whether that's financial backing, partnerships, or mentorship. Leverage this to scale quickly. Don't hesitate to expand and take on more responsibility or projects while the momentum is strong. Create new opportunities. Momentum doesn't just mean moving forward, it means creating new paths. Use your current success to branch out into new ventures, create new products, or build new connections. Use the wind in your sails to make daring moves that would otherwise feel too risky. The 80-20 principle, focusing on what matters most. While momentum will help you move faster, it's important to focus on the right things. Not all action is created equal. The 80-20 principle, also known as the Pareto principle, states that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. In other words, not everything you do will give you the same return on investment, ROI. When you're in the momentum phase, it's easy to get swept up in doing more, but the key is to focus on doing the right things. Ask yourself, What are the 20% of actions that will give me 80% of the results? Focus on the high-leverage activities that will create the most impact. This will ensure that your bold action doesn't become wasted energy, but rather a strategic effort that accelerates your growth. Turning leaps into long-term success. Major leap doesn't just change your trajectory, it can completely redefine your life. But for that leap to be sustainable, you must follow it up with consistent, intentional action. Here's the catch. A bold leap without follow-through leads to burnout. You've made progress, but now you must build on it by establishing systems and habits that support your momentum. Leaps are catalysts, but small, consistent steps will solidify your success. To make your leap sustainable, break it down into manageable tasks. Create routines that ensure you stay on course, and set milestones that keep you accountable. By combining bold actions with long-term planning, you'll ensure that your major leap doesn't just take you higher, it keeps you there. The secret to major leaps: confidence plus consistency. As you begin to take bold action, you'll notice something incredible. Confidence will start to snowball. The more you act boldly, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the more willing you are to take bigger risks, and that's where the magic happens. Confidence plus consistency. Massive success. Consistency ensures that your bold action isn't a fluke. It solidifies the foundation for your success. When you pair consistency with the momentum you've built, you can transform your life in ways you never thought possible. In the next chapter, we'll break down the final step in your journey to success: mastering the art of long-term vision and creating your own legacy. Chapter 11: Mastering Long-Term Vision, Building Your Legacy. In the hustle of daily life, it's easy to become obsessed with short-term wins. We measure success in small victories: sales targets hit, goals achieved, tasks completed. While these milestones are important, they don't define your true success. What truly matters is long-term vision. It's the ability to look beyond the present moment and make decisions that set you up for a lifetime of fulfillment and achievement. Building your legacy is about creating something lasting, something that transcends the ordinary and leaves an imprint on the world. In this chapter, we'll explore how to master long-term vision, make decisions with lasting impact, and start building a legacy that not only benefits you, but also everyone around you. Why short-term success isn't enough. We live in a world obsessed with instant gratification. Social media, quick wins, and immediate feedback loops have made it easier than ever to celebrate short-term success. But this constant pursuit of quick results often leads to shallow goals and unsustainable growth. Real success, the kind that lasts, isn't about quick wins. It's about building a foundation that can support a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment. This requires a long-term vision. Without a long-term perspective, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and lose sight of what really matters. We may achieve our goals, but we might miss out on the bigger picture, the one that creates a legacy. To build a true legacy, you need to look beyond immediate success. You need to set goals that align with a greater purpose, that reach beyond your lifetime, and that create a ripple effect in the world. Defining your legacy. What do you want to be known for? A legacy is not just what you leave behind. It's how you make people feel. It's the impact you have on others, the values you instill, and the ripple effect of your actions. Building a legacy requires you to define what you want to be known for. This isn't just about accumulating wealth or power. It's about who you become in the process and how you impact others. It's about making a difference in ways that are both big and small. Start by asking yourself, what do I want my life to mean? Do I want to build a business that transforms industries? Do I want to be known for my kindness and generosity? Do I want to create something that will last for generations? Take the time to define what legacy means to you. Write it down, visualize it, commit to it. The clearer your vision, the more intentional your actions will be. The power of patience. Building slowly for lasting success. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a lasting legacy. It takes time. Time is the most valuable currency when it comes to building something that lasts. Many people give up too soon, expecting overnight success or instant results. They're discouraged by the slow pace of their progress, and they abandon their mission before they see the fruits of their labor. But those who build legacies understand the importance of patience. They trust the process and know that great things take time. Every decision you make, every step you take, should be aligned with your long-term vision, even if it takes years to see the outcome. Think of investing in assets. The earlier you start, the more time your wealth has to compound. Building a legacy is the same. The earlier you commit, the more your efforts will multiply over time. Visionary thinking, seeing beyond the immediate. One of the core attributes of long-term thinkers is the ability to see beyond the immediate. They know that short-term sacrifices lead to long-term rewards. It's not enough to react to what's happening now. You must develop the ability to anticipate what's coming, understand future trends, and position yourself in a way that will ensure your success in the long run. Visionary thinking allows you to adapt to changes in the market and in your personal life. Innovate by seeing opportunities where others only see problems. Build systems and structures that support growth even when you're not actively working on them. For example, some of the most successful people in the world built their fortunes by making long-term bets in emerging technologies, industries, and trends. They didn't just react to market conditions, they anticipated them and acted accordingly. Legacy is built through relationships, the people you impact. One of the most important components of your legacy is the people you influence. It's not just about the money you make, the businesses you build, or the things you leave behind. It's about the relationships you cultivate. The people whose lives you change, whether through mentorship, support, or simple kindness, are the ones who will carry your legacy forward. Think about the people who've impacted your life. Who were they? What did they teach you? How did they make you feel? Those are the people who shaped your story, and you have the opportunity to do the same for others. Building your legacy means making an impact on the people around you. It means teaching, guiding, and empowering them. It means investing in others' success just as much as your own. Consistency is the secret ingredient to long-term success. Building a lasting legacy requires consistent effort. The best long-term visionaries aren't always the most talented. They're the most consistent. They put in the work day after day, even when it feels like no progress is being made. Consistency is the bridge between your vision and your legacy. It's the foundation upon which your future will be built. Whether you're working on your business, building relationships, or cultivating your personal growth, consistency is the key. Small, consistent actions compound over time into massive results. But without consistent effort, no vision can manifest into reality. The impact of your legacy. Creating a ripple effect. A legacy isn't just about you, it's about the ripple effect you create. Every decision you make, every action you take, creates ripples that extend far beyond your immediate circle. You influence your family, your friends, your colleagues, and even people you've never met. When you focus on building a legacy, you're building something bigger than yourself. You're creating change that will be felt for generations. The impact you make now will resonate for years to come. Crafting your legacy, how to take action now. So how do you begin building your legacy today? Start with clarity, define your long-term vision, and commit to it. Be patient, trust the process, and allow time for your efforts to grow. Focus on relationships, invest in the people around you, and help them grow. Stay consistent. Take small, consistent actions every day toward your goal. Your legacy isn't something you'll create overnight. But if you follow these steps and stay true to your vision, you'll build something that lasts far beyond your lifetime. In the next chapter, we'll wrap up this journey by taking a final look at how to integrate everything you've learned and take the next bold step toward your richest, most fulfilling life. Chapter 12. The final step. Integrating everything into a rich life. You've made it. You've taken the deep dive into the principles, mindset shifts, and strategies that lay the foundation for financial success and a rich life. By now, you understand the power of the compound effect, the role of small daily habits, and the importance of building long-term wealth through a focus on assets, not just income. You've begun to shift your mindset from reactive to proactive, from scarcity to abundance, and from living for today to preparing for tomorrow. But there's one critical question that still remains. How do you integrate all of this into your daily life? How do you apply these transformative insights and make them part of who you are, your new reality? In this final chapter, we'll show you how to do just that. We'll break down how you can integrate these lessons, stay on track, and finally build the life you've always dreamed of, a life that's not only financially prosperous but also full of purpose, joy, and fulfillment. Start with your identity, who you need to become. All lasting change starts with one simple but profound truth. You must become the person who can sustain this change. Many people fail, not because they don't have the tools or knowledge, but because they haven't made the necessary shift in their identity. Your actions, habits, and results are all a reflection of who you believe you are. If you want to integrate the principles of wealth, success, and financial freedom, you first need to adopt a wealthy mindset. Ask yourself, who do I need to become? To live a rich life? What qualities must I embody to create lasting success? What new beliefs must I adopt about myself, money, and the world? The person you need to become is someone who is disciplined, patient, consistent, and courageous. You must be someone who understands that wealth is not about instant gratification, but about creating value, serving others, and being patient enough to see the fruits of your labor. Start embodying that person today. Your actions will follow your identity, and soon, your results will align with your vision. Consistency is the key to mastery. One of the hardest parts of implementing life-changing lessons is staying consistent. It's easy to get excited about new ideas and strategies, but the real test is maintaining that excitement long-term. To successfully integrate the strategies we've covered, you must commit to consistency. This is where the compound effect becomes so powerful. It's the ability to stick with small, seemingly insignificant actions that, over time, lead to massive results. Here's how to ensure you stay consistent. Create small habits. Instead of trying to overhaul everything at once, break down your goals into tiny, manageable habits. These daily actions might seem small, but over time, they compound into something much larger. Track your progress. Use a journal, planner, or app to track your daily habits and accomplishments. It will help you stay accountable and see your progress in real time. Celebrate milestones. Celebrate even the smallest victories. These moments of recognition will keep you motivated as you stay on the path. Remember, consistency is what transforms potential into reality. It's the day-in, day-out action that creates momentum and accelerates growth. Leverage your network. Your people are your power. In the pursuit of wealth and success, who you surround yourself with is just as important as the strategies you implement. You need to leverage your network, your support system of mentors, peers, and colleagues, because people shape your path. Start by identifying the people who can help you elevate your life. Mentors. Find someone who has already achieved what you want and ask them to guide you. Their experience is invaluable. Peers. Surround yourself with people who are ambitious and committed to growth. Iron sharpens iron. Support system. Don't forget the importance of having a solid support network of friends, family, and like-minded individuals who encourage you when the road gets tough. By consistently surrounding yourself with the right people, you can gain insights, find inspiration, and even discover opportunities you would have missed on your own. Think big. Start small. Your roadmap to success. By now, you should have a clearer idea of what your long-term vision is. But a vision without action is just a daydream. The key is to think big, but start small. Building wealth and creating a rich life is about starting with manageable, small steps that you can easily sustain. You don't have to be perfect, but you must take action. Every day, move one step closer to your goals, no matter how small that step is. Here's how to break down your big dreams into actionable steps. Set specific, measurable goals. What exactly do you want to achieve in the next 1, 3, 5 years? Get crystal clear. Break those goals down into daily actions. What small tasks can you do today to move closer to your goal? Track your progress. Regularly review where you are and adjust your actions accordingly. Remember, success doesn't happen overnight. It's the small, consistent actions, compounded over time, that lead to massive transformation. Embrace growth, never stop evolving. The journey to a rich life doesn't end once you've hit a financial goal or achieved a certain milestone. The true power lies in your growth mindset. The rich don't just create wealth, they continually evolve. They're always looking for ways to grow, whether that means mastering new skills, learning from failures, or pushing themselves to take on bigger challenges. To integrate these principles into your life, you must adopt a commitment to lifelong learning and growth. Here's how. Invest in personal development. Always be improving your mindset, skills, and abilities. Learn from mistakes. Failure is just feedback. It's an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. Push past your comfort zone. Don't settle for good enough. Challenge yourself to reach for greatness. The rich don't stop evolving. They keep pushing the boundaries of what they're capable of, and that's what allows them to create a truly rich life. Give back, the final step to true wealth. A life built purely around accumulating wealth will never feel truly rich. The final piece of the puzzle is to give back. Wealth is meant to be shared, whether it's through your time, knowledge, or financial resources. Giving back serves two purposes. It's a joyful expression of gratitude, and it multiplies your impact. When you give, you create a ripple effect of generosity that not only transforms others' lives, but also enhances your own. You can give in many ways, financially. Donate to causes you care about. Mentorship. Help others along their journey to success. Time. Volunteer and support those in need. True wealth comes from the fulfillment of knowing that you've used your resources to improve the world around you. Start incorporating giving into your life today, and watch how it transforms your heart and your wealth. Conclusion. Living your rich life. Now. You've now completed the journey through the principles that will guide you toward a rich life. Life of financial freedom, abundance, and purpose. But remember, building a rich life is not about waiting until tomorrow. It's about making the decision to start today, taking action, being consistent, and living the life you want now. As you move forward, remember these key principles. Master your habits. Small, consistent actions compound over time. Shift your identity. Become the person capable of creating the life you desire. Think big, start small, take action every day, even if it's just one step. Never stop learning. Commit to lifelong growth and evolution. Give back. True wealth comes from what you give, not just what you accumulate. It's time to stop dreaming about the life you want. It's time to start building it. Now, go live your rich life. Stop right there. This isn't just a video. This is a turning point. You're not here by accident. You were meant to see this. If your heart's beating faster, if something inside you just woke up, do not ignore that feeling. Like this video, not for us, but for you, to lock in this energy. Share it, because someone out there is lost and you might be the reason they wake up. Subscribe right now, because we're not done. This channel is about to blow your mind. Again and again and again. This is more than content. This is a revolution. A mindset. A mission. And if you felt this even for a second, then you're part of it now. So don't just watch. Join the movement. Like, share, subscribe, or scroll back to the same life you're trying to escape. Your call.